second segment of this match between KwaZulu-Natal and the Western Cape. The Western Cape has opened up quite a comfortable lead, leading by 14 imps, I think, at this point in time. South here opening a pretty standard 3 spades. West doubling, keeping the major suit in play, and I think East-West has reached a very good spot of 4 hearts. Okay, so in this type of situation, I think it would be pretty standard for the South hand to try and cash out, take their tricks. Looking at the diamond suit in the dummy, we should go quite aggressively in defense. You can see that if we don't cash those clubs right away, we're not going to get them. Where South trying a bit of a deceptive type of switch here with the jack of clubs. Both the king and the jack here would have worked out pretty much the same, and I think we're likely to get a claim very, very shortly. Not too much that can go wrong here, even if both these suits break, diamonds and hearts break pretty badly. Declarer couldn't have a problem here. All right, the North hand with 3 spades in her hand should probably, I would think, have attempted to bid 4 spades. In fact, over 3 spades double, North should already have bid 4 spades, knowing that there's at least a 10 card fit. I don't think pass is a great action. Okay, so 1-0 trump, pass. A lot of us, I think, on the North hand might have attempted to do a type of garbage statement if that was part of our arsenal. The North hand could bid 2 clubs and then pass anything that partner might have said. Just because the hand feels with the 4-4-4-1, and especially with such low points, it might have just felt better to attempt to try and find some sort of a trump fit that might have built some tricks for us. So I don't think this is going to go particularly well for North-South. Pretty bad dummy that South bought. Okay, so the 4 of clubs from East, giving our partner a type of remaining count. In a situation where we win a trick, especially in a no trump contract, you win the opening lead, partner's lead. We should lead back a type of remaining count. Now, a low card would generally indicate that we started also with 3 or more cards, and if we had only a doubleton left or 4 left, we would tend to come back a a higher card, so giving a type of remaining count. From the West perspective, yeah, after she won with the King of Clubs, it was important to for her where the Eight of Clubs was. Fortunately for her, she found that card in partner's hand. Okay, so 4 tricks to East-West already. I think we're going to see a spade switch soon, on which West will get some sort of encouraging signal from partner. And then probably a continuation of the suit. I'm not sure exactly what East-West's carding methods are, but I suspect they use odd cards to encourage and even cards to discourage. All right, so West might feel a little bit in-played here, but I think that with Declarer playing hearts first, it must be safer to exit with diamonds, because Declarer was clearly going after heart tricks, and West would know that Declarer still has the ace of hearts left. So this unfortunately has not been too great a score for North-South. 4 down vulnerable for minus 400. I suspect that if we did, if North-South did try and find a fit through garbage stamen, or try and get out via garbage stamen, the loss the cost might have been quite a bit less. It would have probably gone 1-0 trump, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, denying a 4-card major by South. And North would have done well to just pass that. In a 4-3 fit, we might have been able to rough a couple of clubs and build an extra couple of tricks that way. So with those 4-4-4-1 hands, if you prepare to play anything that partner is going to bid over your 2-club inquiry, that's a good method to use. East-West defended that hand particularly well. They never let a trick slip in the defense. It was spot on the fence and signaling from them. Okay, so the Dutch 2s showing at least 5 cards in our major and at least 4 cards. Some people insist on a 5-5, but if you're going to play a method, we're looking at the frequency of how often it would arise. I think to wait for 5-5s, you're going to wait a long time if that's your method. So yeah, we should open 2 spades probably with 5-4s. So 5 spades and 4 of a minor. Under opening hand values, pretty much like we play our weak 2s. We can see whether due to this this method of and the ability to open the Dutch 2, we have really blocked East and West that actually carries the majority of points on the hand completely out of the auction. I'm not sure that East-West necessarily would have wanted to be part of the auction, but this has given This has given North-South the upper hand in the auction. Okay, so on board 2 in the other room, East-West or Declarer was able to save a trick, and that has given 3 imps to the Western Cape. Okay, so West must be considering at this time potentially returning a diamond. Her partner won the first lead and continued with the diamond, knowing that he was creating a void for Declarer in the dummy. It looks pretty much from West's perspective then that partner was the one that started with a doubleton diamond, and hence the diamond return for partner to rough. Okay, so at this stage it does look like Declarer will probably get home with 4 more tricks, 2 spades, a diamond, 2 spades and 2 diamonds. It's interesting that the rough of the diamond has actually helped Declarer to build 2 more tricks quite comfortably. West had the diamonds protected with the 10 and the 9, and I think she might have well done better to have actually exited with the ace and another spade, and in such a way a diamond trick, a natural diamond trick, would have come back to her. It would have also created a few entry problems for the Declarer. All right, so it would be interesting to see what happens in the other room on that board. Spades might again buy the final contract, but I have a feeling the auction is going to be a lot more competitive if there is no Dutch 2 opening bid in the south seat. All right, so the heart's overcall by South. It might not be everybody's cup of tea on such a flimsy suit. Personally, I'm not a great fan, but at least there are a few compensating values in the South hand. I do generally like, even at the 1 level, for my suit quality to be a little bit better than just Jack to 5. I think this hand is pretty much on the cusp for a 1 level overcall with such a weak suit. And I would have been a lot more comfortable if I had another few points in my hand, more towards the 12, 13 point mark. All right, so for a lot of us, the 1 spade bid here would be a 5-card suit after the 1 heart overcall. This pair just bids a spade with at least 4. For a lot of us, if we overcall a spade, it would be 5, and we would have used the negative double to indicate at least a 4-card, exactly a 4-card suit. All right, so the double after the 2-heart raise is, of course, what we call the negative double. After the the support double, showing at least 3-card support for partners major. And that must be useful, especially in a case where we could bid a spade on 4 or 5, to know whether our partner has got 3-card support or 4-card support. With the West Hand being as weak as it is normal to, as a last resort type bid, even although we know partners got only 3 spades, to bid 2 spades. It's our cheapest attempt at playing in a part score, and normally not too much harm is done if we do play in spades or in our suit in a 4-3 fit at a lower level. Okay, very interesting auction and choice by East to bid 3 spades. Once we have the agreement that the 2-spade bid now does not necessarily promise 5 spades, because it might be our last resort bid. I would have rather chosen on the East Hand to make a more balanced value showing bid of 2-note trump, to basically showing our 18-19 balanced points. So I am slightly surprised by the raise to 3 spades on 3-card support. A 2-note trump bid would have done pretty much the same, or showing the values of the hand with a more balanced hand type. Okay, so I think Declare is going to try and get home here via a little bit of a cross ruff, already having ruffed a heart in her hand. She's now going to try and ruff a couple of clubs. So ace of clubs a 5th trick, ruff a club a 6th trick, with the with the queen of spades being, or the king of spades being on sides. We might just be able to scrape nine tricks. Seeing all the cards at this stage, if Declarer just played a spade to the ace and then a club back and roughed that, she would get to 9 tricks. She can always wait to do that later, I suppose. Okay. So no harm done. Fortunately for East-West, with the spade location and the lead, and the potential of roughing our 2 suits really in the West Hand, we've been able to scrape 9 tricks together. Okay, so indeed on board 3, where the north-south pair was able to open the Dutch 2 and block the opponent's communications, East-West on that table ended up in a 1-0 trump making. So it was a nice little swing for the KwaZulu-Natal pair due to their methods. The question here would be whether the West Hand deems his hand and suit good enough to make an overcall at the 2 level. and he has not. Two level overcalls again tend to be better quality hands and normally not such balanced hands. Overcalling 5-card suits is not generally my cup of tea at the 2 level. All right, so okay, so on the non-switch of a heart, there should be no problems for declarer to come now to 7 tricks. I'm a little bit surprised that West did not decide to somehow shift to a heart. Probably the Queen of Hearts would have been the right shift, just to see what happened on that. All right, so declarer's gonna, okay. All right, so declarer is probably still going to get home, even although she guessed the spade position incorrectly. She's probably still going to get home playing a heart up to a hand eventually. She'll have to rely here on the ace of hearts to be on side, and of course it is, as we can see. I think a better defense from the West perspective would have been at trick 2 after winning the first diamond to just switch to the Queen of Hearts. That would have already stolen a trick for the defense, and then decided based on whatever partner played with what the correct way forward would have been, and then maybe continue with the diamond. The benefits of switching to the Queen of Hearts is, of course, that we would still be retaining communication with our partner. So if it went Queen King, our partner would now have a heart when she maybe got the lead back later to get back to our hand with a heart. So I think a heart shift would have put a little bit more pressure on this hand. Okay, so really an uneventful 1-0 trump contract making. I think the declarer would have always struggled a bit more on a heart lead or a heart shift. Okay, so where the West Hand was able to overcall spades at the 1 level on a 4-card suit earlier, this has clearly taken that option away. So now I suspect that a double would be the action to show at least a 4-card spade suit since we're at a higher level. All right, it will be very tempting for the West Hand to try and find another bid here. We've got 10 points, our partners open the bidding, and the opponents are clearly stealing something from us. So I do suspect, maybe a 4-club bid by West. Or another double. That might not have a good outcome if our partner carries on bidding diamonds. So 4 clubs is definitely the correct bid. The question, of course, is how forcing his 4 clubs here. A lot of players might play that a double and then bidding again by the West End would be the stronger action. So with most of my partners, I would like to believe that this auction is not a forcing auction. And we can see that 4 clubs should be the limit of the hand, where East-West should be losing, ultimately lose a spade, a heart and a club. In these auctions, Denia is obviously considering, I would imagine he's considering raising to 5 clubs, so he's trying to figure out how good his hand really is. Again, the benefits of the preempt here is so evident. We have put ultimate pressure on the opponent's auction. They have misguessed, and we're going to have a positive score to show for that ultimately. Denia's decision is not unreasonable. If he found his partner with a singleton heart here, which was not impossible, his decision would have been 100% right, although there could have been another loser on the hand, then maybe in diamonds. Vulnerable, I think the risks of missing a vulnerable game has probably persuaded him to bid it. I do think that we generally push, or we do push more for vulnerable rather than non-vulnerable games. I have a feeling if the vulnerability was reversed, we might have seen a pass rather than a push by his hand. All right, so Declarer's only legitimate hope at this point in time would be to find a potential King X in the south hand, and unfortunately that won't materialize. That would have been the only holding where we might not have lost a trick as Declarer. If she could take a finesse to the jack, play the ace, drop the king, and then the queen would be good with the last spade being roughed in the dummy. Okay, so again, I don't think anybody did much wrong there. Pretty good auction, but I think the value of the preempt again very nicely illustrated. All right, so again, we with a pair that's not playing transfers, so 2 spades would be a bust and to play. I do think we'll definitely see East pinning his spades and some competition by South, and the question is whether when the bidding comes back to East, he'll bid his spades again, which I think, in view of an auction where the North hand is busting with a 7-card suit, it would be very reasonable to compete. Okay, he's chosen a three spade bid. I think that pretty much shows his hand. The question now is critical for West. Is her hand good enough to raise this to game? I don't think it's 100% clear. There is something to be said, though, for the three spade bid to be a little bit constructive, obviously, in view of the two heart bid by North. We know that the two heart bid was a bust. So there's no need to preempt, obviously, if we know the opponents are going to stop at the two level. So the three spade bid is justified in that it shows the length of the suit, and not a great hand, obviously, but a pretty decent hand. All right, so four spades can still go down if somehow north-south declarer can play a spade here and then play a club and to the queen, and I think at that stage the only option that would remain for north-south to beat this hand is via the diamond ruff. So declarer cleverly playing a club up, preserving a hopeful entry to his hand, and okay. So it looks like South gave up on defeating this hand, or didn't think about the possibility of a potential diamond ruff. Now, with the East hand ruffing the second heart, there must be some other cards in that hand, and we might well have come to the conclusion that, or played the diamond ace in the hope that we would be able to give our partner a ruff, because that honestly did look like pretty much the only way for us to beat this hand. So fortune favored the brave here with three spades and the four spade raise, and where this contract might have gone down and should have probably gone down, we're now notching up a very good 620. All right, so the West hand, little bit of an in-between hand. Do we open one heart? Do we open two hearts? I don't totally mind a two-heart bid vulnerable, because our partner will be expecting that we could be holding a pretty good hand, but at this vulnerability, I'd say a one-heart bid is justified. All right, so I think the East hand with a very good fitting card in the heart suit has gone up quite a bit here in value, knowing that partner now has a 6-card heart suit probably, and therefore the bit of game by Denier. All right, so I don't think this is quite making on a club lead and a potential diamond shift. I think we're looking at this going down. Or on a yeah, I think it's got to be a club lead that gets the club trick first, and then on a diamond shift. There's obviously no way for declarer to avoid a loser in each suit. Okay, so all right, so with that dummy, the diamond shift looks pretty automatic. And declarer, unfortunately, does not have the communication to unblock the club, get to the dummy, and oh, the diamond it wouldn't have helped anyway, sorry. So a very, very good lead found by North. It looks like the only lead that would have potentially beaten the contract. On a diamond lead, a small diamond lead, declarer could duck the first diamond, cutting communications between the two hands, and then there's no way to get in early enough into the North hand to potentially come a club through to set up their club trick, which would ultimately go away on the on a spade. All right, so after all, maybe a 2-heart opening bid would have saved the day for East and West. I'm not totally against the 2-heart opening with that hand, with the hand being totally balanced apart from the 6-card suit, even although it only contains 10 points. But I do have a feeling that partnership style and so on about opening at that vulnerability in first seat, etc., could have something to do with whether you do open 2 as opposed to 1 heart. But I would think that opening 2 hearts is not an unreasonable action on the hand as well. It's not quite a hand with opening values, in spite of the 6-card heart suit. All right, so probably the most boring hand of the set. 1 no trump, 3 no trump. The only question is gonna be a matter of over tricks and how many over tricks we can make. I don't think we can make more than 1 over trick. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the diamond finesse being on sides. We'll probably lose 2 clubs and a diamond. Saying that, if declarer goes after clubs straight away, there will be another extra trick with the diamond finish being on sides. Okay, so on board 7, where Dania and Nancy reached 4 spades, it stopped in a very calm 3 hearts the other way by their partners, and so a very nice 13-inch swing there to the Western Cape. That's now leading by 18 to 11. I think effectively that translates into 45, 24. Okay, so 11 tricks for declarer after all, after she went after the club suit to build an extra trick, and with the fortunate layout of the 3-3 distribution in the opponent's hands, we made an extra trick there. So declarer should have the rest of the tricks. All right, so I can imagine that the outcome at the other table would be exactly the same on that board. We've reached the last board of this match. Thank you all for listening. I think we should be back with more commentary in about 45 minutes at 4:30 with our last match for the day. Hope to see a lot more entertainment. All right, so with the 2-club overcall, North raising to 3 clubs, I would imagine that generally we've got better raises available. 2 diamonds as a cubit raise, so that might be a raise just based on shape. I think with South having very good now knowing of a club fit, and with 2 pretty big cards that might be able to stop the opponent's suits, I think it's not a bad bad punt to potentially look for 3-no trumps. I would have chosen the lower route or the pass of 3 clubs simply because my partner tends to raise and show me we've got more or other value raises. But here it's worked out pretty well. I think it looks like only a spade lead on this hand that would have had to be ducked twice by declarer, and then a heart shift would have beaten 3-no trumps. On a lead of a small heart, declarer would have had to guess correctly to hop up with the king of hearts, which wouldn't be too hard, and then set up a couple of diamond tricks, and with the hearts breaking 4 and 4, she would have been able to come to 9 tricks as well. So well done for North-South for bidding a pretty aggressive but good game here. Okay, so declarer should play a small club up to the ace just to guard herself against a potential. Oh, she knows the clubs are breaking. Sorry, I missed that first play. The play is going so rapidly, I sometimes miss a trick here and there. So she knows the clubs are breaking, so she's running for 10 tricks, it looks like. I think the outcome of this segment will depend a lot on whether the guys have found 3-no trumps in the other room. I'm not convinced that they will find it, but it's not an unlikely outcome that they will. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys later.